garbage heap of lolcow drama. It never stops. It just keeps going. Infinite content.
Get it on!
Who the hell do you think I am?
Whatever happens, happens.
We got some Pyre software and Tectone drama today. And if you're a creator and you want to collab or you just want to hang out, you're just a regular person, you don't want to create nothing, join the Crimson Mountain. We have a Reddit and a Discord community. So far, there's nobody there, it's just me. I just started it. So if you want to collab and make some beautiful content together, definitely check it out. We're gonna start this video off with Internet Anarchist. Pyre Software's life is falling apart.
For years, Pirate Software built his brand on the illusion that he was the smartest person in the room. But in 2025, that entire image fell apart when he was exposed as one of the most toxic and dishonest individuals in the game development community.
Well, he's been beat now. The quartering got him. He holds that throne.
The level of stupid that I just had to receive was like sitting on Twitter for 12 hours. It sucks. That's a really stupid move.
When Pirate Software told everyone that he worked on video games for 20 years, that he worked as a hacker, why did anyone believe him when this was what he was putting out? Why did...
Because nobody knew.
Did it take this long for people to call him out for being a fraud when this is his
You have to wait until commenters, or the commentary community, catch on.
magnum opus?
In the fallout, he lost more than 500,000 subscribers and
Holy
almost
shit.
90% of his Twitch viewership in the span of a few short months. You'd think such a fall from grace would force anyone to step back and reflect on themselves, but
Nope.
Pirate Software...
That ain't how it works for a lolcow. They just think the entire internet is against them and they're still completely right. It's like that meme where everybody's pointing at the guy in the center and he's just like, you're all wrong with the sign up.
seems to have learned nothing, because even in the big 2026, he still can't stay out of controversy and online outrage, all due to his massive ego, refusing to accept when he's wrong, and lying through his teeth to the whole world. Is the Pirate Software hate train running again? I'm so stoked. This guy is under-hated still.
I mean, that's what happens whenever you're trying to maintain an image. You have to lie. Just be yourself, man. Don't try and maintain an image. If you're a fucking degenerate, you're unfortunately gonna have to let that out to the world.
Hi, I'm the Internet Anarchist. I create weekly YouTube documentaries, and this is the self-inflicted downfall of Pirate Software. In this video, we're going to be breaking down how Pirate Software, aka Thor, cannot stop turning himself into an online lolcow. And by the end, you'll see why this latest desperate attempt to prove himself right might have finally destroyed what was left of his image. I have already made 2 videos covering the 2025 drama in detail, but here's a super quick recap of how everything spiraled out of control.
Sweet.
The entire thing started in January
recaps.
2025 during a World of Warcraft run, when Thor refused to help his teammates at a critical moment, causing them to die and to lose months of progress.
I actually didn't even care about this situation. I thought it was kind of funny and pathetic. But also, just don't fucking get mad on the internet over a video game unless you're doing it for the jokes. If you're doing it because it's funny, that's different. But if you're like actually mad, like, bro, what are you doing? You look fucking ridiculous.
The community called him out for the selfish play, he refused to take any accountability.
Wants me to sit down, grovel on my knees and be like, I'm so sorry, Mr. Yamato. It was all my fault, the mage.
This ultimately led to him being kicked out from OnlyFans, a well-known World of Warcraft guild he was part of. While this controversy didn't do much damage to his image, it exposed...
And you know that little roleplay that he did just then? I think that's probably what he should have done. But roleplayed it. Like, made it as a joke. But dude's just, like, not self-aware at all. I mean, typical lolcow behavior, I guess.
Thor's inability to take criticism in a healthy way, a pattern, mind you, that would only get worse over time. By June 2025, he found himself in much hotter water, this time for his stance on the Stop Killing Games movement, a widely supported, community-driven effort to legally prevent publishers from shutting down games that players had already paid for. As one of the most influential voices in the gaming community, people expected Pirate.
By the way, we got more than we asked for when it comes to Stop Killing Games. Europe basically took the extra mile.
Software to back the movement. But not only did he misunderstand the entire initiative, he used aggressive language to actively discourage it.
That is a horrible direction. That's awful, dude. Now, eat my entire. The level of stupid that I just had to receive was like sitting on Twitter for 12 hours. This sucks. That's a really stupid. That's incredibly stupid. I think this is complete garbage. All of this can eat that. I dropped the mask entirely. I have no qualms about that.
Oh, he definitely dropped the mask.
They can eat the whole thing.
Oh, and they did. They ate his whole ass. Every single fucking bit of it.
His viewers weren't happy seeing him trash something the entire internet considered fundamentally pro-consumer, and even major.
And yeah, I was about to say, even a lot of the internet sweethearts, like Charlie.
YouTubers like Charlie publicly called out Thor for his stance.
But there's irrefutable evidence that you had a detrimental effect, a majorly damaging effect on Stop Killing Games because of your misinformation that you spread about it in 2 videos and across all your streams, and not once have you bothered to correct that record.
As a result, Pirate Software started losing tens of thousands of subscribers every day. But once again, instead of admitting
And that's the way the news goes.
That he was wrong and apologizing, he doubled down, and even tried to play the victim by claiming his games were being review bombed, which predictably only made things worse. And before this,
like, nobody's ever heard of the Streisand effect, apparently. The Quartering's doing the same shit. Like, I'm being bombarded. I'm under attack.
Controversy could even cool off, he took another massive hit to his reputation. Recently, a jury ordered Meta and YouTube to pay millions for their role in designing and promoting addictive platforms. They knew their apps could contribute to anxiety, depression, and body image issues, but
I've been seeing ads about this.
Did not share those risks while prioritizing profits. The recent history verdict underscores the consequences of those decisions. If you or your child
Man, I wish I was a giant pussy and got affected by the internet.
spent years growing up on social media and experienced serious mental health struggles,
I grew up on Xbox Live, so I was kind of immune to all the social media bullshit.
you should hear this. Morgan & Morgan is stepping up to hold these platforms accountable for the harm they caused. You can use my link in the description.
Like I've been hinting, it's below what you'd expect.
Oh.
Would you, as a newly added game developer to his game project, have any idea that one is Shelly? You would have no idea. This would never ever be allowed in a production repository. And I've been hinting, it's below what you'd expect.
Not just this guy, by the way. There were other programmers coming out and saying the same shit.
A bottom tier intern.
For years, Thor had built his brand on expertise, claiming he'd worked as a hacker for the government and spent significant time at Blizzard, the legendary game studio. He leaned heavily on these credentials to
I was also a hacker for the government. I was fixing printers. Basically, I had to hack shit.
establish authority in the community.
I've been in the gaming industry for about 20 years. I used to work at Blizzard Entertainment, then Amazon Game Studios, and now I own my own studio, Pirate Software, by the same name, which is an indie studio, and I've been here for about 8 years now.
So when Coding Jesus puts that video out, it's threatened to unravel that entire image. But rather than addressing the technical criticism head-on, Thor attacked Coding Jesus personally.
It's just another, YouTube grifter trying to
I think he just didn't like him because his name was Jesus, because this dude's fucking evil.
fight for relevance, dude. That's all that shit is. All too common these days.
And deflected every time he was caught.
Wait. Can I reach up there? Nope. Got cut off. Damn. I'll just fucking, yeah. My finger's a little bit big. I'll just, how do I? Okay.
Being objectively wrong.
Manually setting all to 0 with 8 lines. Those were set to 0 because it was ending the alarms. By setting them to 0, you're actually setting the alarm to off.
So what he's doing here is a classic example of deflection. He pretends the chatter asked,
Why do you set the alarms to 0 instead of the question, which was, why don't you iterate over them in a for loop? A for loop is a very basic coding construct. If you're iterating through a consecutive set of numbers, you definitely want to use that. It's the perfect scenario for a for loop.
Unsurprisingly, his reputation as an expert game developer collapsed almost overnight, and worked at Blizzard became a full-blown meme, but that was far from the deepest hole he'd dig for himself. On July 5th, an ex-user tweeted a screenshot of a conversation between Thor and his mod, Kronos, which revealed that they had allegedly faked his record-breaking Twitch hype train back in April 2024 by gifting subs and bits to himself. Both Thor and Kronos denied the allegation and acted as if they were the victims of unfair online hate. But days later, another person posted a screenshot of the exact donation in question and proved that Pirate Software was a shameless liar, completely shattering whatever trust his viewers still had in him. What ties all these controversies together is a single consistent pattern. Thor's arrogance prevents him from ever admitting fault, even when he's clearly demonstrably wrong, and at times he'll resort to outright lying to avoid it. Pirate had a golden ticket to being as
I mean, if you're in too deep, you gotta do whatever you can to get out of the hole, right?
big as the biggest influencers, but his ego was stroked too much to allow himself a little humility, and
I'm in too deep.
That was his biggest fault, letting it go to his head. As a result, he burned through nearly all of his credibility in just a few months. And for a creator whose entire brand was built on authenticity and expertise, losing that trust meant losing almost his entire audience. But if there was one silver lining for Pirate throughout this 2025 fallout, it's that the people who are watching him after everything are genuinely loyal fans who are clearly ready to support him through the worst of times. And with that kind of audience, he still had one last shot at redemption. Obviously, reaching back to his peak was nearly impossible, but he could slowly rebuild momentum, provided he course-corrected and proved he was capable of growth. But if his recent behavior is anything to go by, it looks like he would rather sabotage his own comeback than swallow his pride. After the hype train scandal blew up in July, Thor
That's how narcissism works.
stayed relatively low for a few months, until he decided to make a big comeback in December 2025, with a month-long event called Indecember.
For the entire month of December, we're going to be doing an event. We're going to be calling it the Indecember Games Show. One of the things that I've seen with traditional game shows is they're usually quite short. It's usually just a day or a couple of hours. Those games don't get a lot of breathing room. It's usually just an ad that plays. So since I'm doing it over the entire month, we're going to be playing those games on stream. We're going to be talking to developers.
I can see where you're going with that, but that's too much. Like, people can't pay attention to that much for that long. Somebody will jump in for like an hour for a day. There will be some people that stay for the whole thing, but most people aren't going to do that. I think that's just a bad idea. Not shitting on it, like, at least he's trying something.
We're going to be interacting with those communities. We're going to be really doing deep dives on every one of these.
He presented the event as an initiative designed to spotlight indie developers and showcase smaller games that normally wouldn't get mainstream attention.
I've also seen inside of the indie scene that money ends up being an issue for everybody. It's incredibly expensive for the indie shows to be able to show off their games, and it ends up being a huge barrier for them to be able to do this. So I'm doing it for free. We've got corporate sponsors, we've got some other types of sponsors that are in there, and we've got you guys as the viewers, so the indies aren't going to pay a dime. That's the whole point with this.
Maybe this was his attempt to re-establish himself as an influential figure in this space.
I could see how if he'd go down this path, it would work.
After months of public humiliation, and to be fair, a lot of his audience responded positively. Sounds like an awesome way to support indie games. So happy you're doing this. But once the event actually kicked off, it became clear who it was really for. Some industry observers pointed out that the event structure benefited Thor far more than the developers he claimed to be uplifting.
Yeah, of course it did. I mean, sometimes it happens by accident. Like, look at Jeff Keighley.
There was no dedicated website, no centralized hub, developers had to reach out to Thor directly just to participate, and he hadn't taken any real steps to ensure these games would gain sustained exposure beyond his own stream. Now, did the event bring some new eyes to those developers? Probably, but the spotlight stayed almost entirely on his platform, and if you look—
So the problem is that he tried to do it himself, and dude's a fucking idiot. He should have just hosted it and had somebody else run it. Like, are you shitting me? Like, it was so easy to see what you should have done here. But that's not what he was doing. He lied. He was trying to get more exposure, more clicks to himself. Because his views are down, which means money is down. And if money's down, that means views go down more. It's like you start circling the drain. Trust me, I'm there right now. I used to get thousands of views. Now I get tens. I don't give a fuck, though. I'm in it for the love of the game.
Look at the numbers, there was actually
I'm working on making a fucking movie. That's why I'm doing all this shit, really. Training myself to video edit.
a small bump in his viewership during that month. This criticism never escalated into a full-blown scandal, but it once again revealed the same pattern. Even when positioning himself as a champion for others, Thor has a habit of shaping the narrative so that he remains at the center of it, and that exact ego that needs to always be the smartest, the most important person in the room is what sparked his most recent controversy, one that might just be the final nail in the coffin. For years, Ashes of Creation had been marketed as the next great evolution in the MMO space. It raised over $3.2 million in crowdfunding, built a passionate community of nearly 20,000 backers,
Wasn't there all kinds of like illegal shit going on with this game?
and asked players to believe in it for close to a decade. Then, on February 1st, 2026, without warning, Intrepid Studios announced that it was shutting down development and laying off the entire development team. As you
Like, at this point, who trusts Kickstarter campaigns? I mean, come on, really.
can imagine, the backlash was immediate, and a significant chunk of that anger landed straight on Pirate Software. Because if you've watched Thor for any length of time over the past few years, you know he has been one of the loudest voices backing the project. But just 4 days before the official shutdown, he quietly stopped backing the game, and when Intrepid made the announcement public, Thor posted a lengthy tweet claiming he wasn't surprised the project failed, which to a lot of people felt incredibly two-faced.
But did he take the blame for it? Did he take accountability? Or did he blame the problems on everything else, everybody else? Yeah, I wonder which way it went.
How could you have been connected to this game for 5 years and not smelled the BS, when so many others warned to stay away? Pirate Software peddles the game hard and managed to jump ship before it comes out as a scam game. I can't tell what Thor is full of more, himself or shit. The very next day, Thor uploaded a YouTube video addressing the situation. In it, he claimed that the real reason he distanced himself from Ashes of Creation was moderation issues. According to him, there were racist and hateful users infesting the community.
Yep. Okay.
And I was sending them stuff back and forth with this, and I was like, hey, we got a serious moderation problem on the server. And we started linking them things. There was a guy that was actually posting comments about Jewish people.
Grow the fuck up, dude. Like, what is with these massive fucking pussies everywhere? They just can't handle words, you know? We're all adults here. We hear the most vile shit. But as soon as you call somebody the N-word, nope. But if you wish death upon somebody or call for violence, nobody bats an eye. Get fucking real. Fucking degenerates.
Every day, all day, right? He was just doing that every single day, all day. And the account would just change every single day. Guy never got banned.
Get the fuck over it.
We had a guy that was saying that he wanted to form a group to go kill all the LGBT people on the server.
Yeah. Welcome to the internet and indie online games.
We got a screenshot of that, sent it up to them. Guy never got banned.
He also showed a screenshot of a message from Margaret Crone, who was head of communications on the project.
Yeah, I reacted to this whole situation. It's fucking stupid.
Led me to quit the game was actually this response from Margaret, which I have right here.
Now, on the surface, what Thor said sounds completely reasonable.
I didn't know that he was actually directly connected to Ashes of Creation, though. I just got this Margaret part, where it was, like, about him playing it. I didn't know that he had this, like, long relationship with them. I didn't get to that.
But this is Thor we're talking about, and by now, you should already know how this goes. Given his track record of twisting situations to make himself look like the only right person in the room, people weren't exactly inclined to take his word for it. Shortly after his video went live,
I mean, what can you expect from a gay furry? Really?
Margaret went on social media and claimed that Thor had misrepresented the context of that message.
Oh, you don't say.
This was not what that message was in reference to. It was in reference to someone calling him a ferret effer, and good shit, your Kiwi Farms page is booming. We actioned the account, but did not permanently ban the person. Those other folks...
Kiwi Farms constantly taking down these lol cows.
saying super egregious things like saying they
I don't like Kiwi Farms, but they keep taking down the wall cows. It's kind of funny.
wanted to kill LGBT people, we were banning. And given Thor's history of lying, a large portion of the community sided with her immediately. So, in an attempt to prove himself right once and for all, Thor released screenshots of an extremely long text exchange between him and Margaret. But this move was about to backfire in the worst way imaginable, because the texts didn't show what Thor wanted them to show, they showed the opposite. From the very start of the conversation, Thor wasn't reporting a racist user. He was reporting people who were making fun of him or referencing his Kiwi Farms page, and calling him names. That was what he wanted Intrepid to take action on. And when they didn't act fast enough, he texted Margaret again a week later, asking why the players he reported still hadn't been banned. Margaret explained that not every report leads to a permanent ban, stating, depending on the severity
Also, they're a small team. They can't really get to all of them, and they can't keep track of it.
and context, some cases warrant warning
Over words.
or temporary actions, which are not reflected on the public ban list. She also explained that their small support team was working through a massive backlog of reports, which was causing delays.
Exactly.
But Thor seemed fixated on getting these viewers banned. According to him, they were connected to the 6 swatting incidents he had experienced over the past year. Now, to be clear, swatting is a completely unjustifiable
Where's the proof for that? Where's any evidence for that at all? Like, you can say that, but what the fuck?
form of cyber harassment that can put someone's life at serious risk. It is not something anyone should ever have to deal with. But as Margaret pointed out in her reply, it's also not something a video game moderation team has any control over beyond their own platform. We hear you, and we want to be very clear that we take concerns like this seriously. If at any point you feel that your
Yeah, you're gonna have to show some receipts to them, bro. For one thing, and that's even if they could do anything then. Like, how are you going to prove that these are the actual people?
personal safety is at risk, we strongly encourage you to contact local law enforcement immediately. Right? We can and do take action.
They want them to, like, straight up go hacker mode to find out who these fucking people are.
Within our platforms, but threats that extend beyond the game or into the real world are best handled by the appropriate authorities, which was a reasonable response, but not for Thor. You see, he's so used to banning everyone in his chat who criticizes or pokes fun at him, he expected the same incident.
And also, that's just like in the culture of streaming on Twitch, ban anybody who you don't like. I don't ban nobody unless you're a fucking bot. And if I don't like you, I'm not gonna ban you. I'm just gonna post the seal.
Treatment here, but when he couldn't get the situation handled exactly the way he wanted, he flipped out and sent a long, threatening message that he would stop playing and streaming the game. At this point, it would have been completely understandable if the person on the other side got irritated and simply stopped responding to him, but Margaret continued to be really polite, reading, "I can see how deeply disappointed you are, and I understand."
Yeah, she probably should have stopped. Pirate Software should have stopped. But I'm glad she kept going, because we got more content.
Why this moment feels like a breaking point. We investigate the reports you and others submitted. The messages in question occurred within a very short window, roughly a 15-minute span, and involved only a handful of posts. While some of the language used was inappropriate and unacceptable, our current moderation framework does not always move directly to permanent bans for first-time offenses of this nature. She also explained that there was no way for her team to confirm whether the in-game users Thor reported were actually the same people responsible for swatting him, which to anyone with common sense should be obvious. As soon as Pirate released these conversations publicly, the entire community pointed out 2 things. Number 1, he had once again twisted the narrative to make himself look like he could never be wrong, and second, he came across as incredibly entitled and unwilling to even consider someone else's explanation. Naturally, this triggered another intense wave of backlash against him. Pirate being so deep in Delulu that he doesn't even realize he proves himself wrong, and a liar. Gotta be one of my favorite genres. Lol, Pirate claimed they said something completely different and worse. Once again, his drama is over nothing but his own actions. And now, with him
typical lolcow behavior.
Once again turning himself into an online lolcow, it feels increasingly unlikely that the internet will ever take him seriously again. However, what makes this downfall story uniquely disappointing is that at every turning point, Pirate Software had a chance to stop the hate by simply admitting fault and showing humility, but every time he chose his ego instead. In trying to protect his pride, he slowly destroyed any realistic path to redemption, and this comment sums up the entire saga better than anyone else. It's hilarious how his rep went downhill so fast. If he could just shut up and admit he's wrong once in a while, no one would have cared.
Damn, he didn't get into the latest drama with, like, his whole mod team leaving him and getting into heated debates online. I don't know, debates as a strong word. It's getting heated online between Pirate Software and Tectone. And that's what we're going to get into now. Now that we've got the context of things that built up to this point. And then Kronos basically left them, or was kicked out, it was mutual, or something like that. I don't know, they're all fucking retarded. Disclaimer, I like Tectone. I don't like Pirate Software, so I'm going to be a little bit biased. However, I do acknowledge that Tectone is retarded, but also Pirate Software is retarded. And I'm also a little retarded. So even if I think Tectone or Pirate Software is wrong in a situation and I'm right, doesn't mean that I'm right and they're wrong. Because remember, I'm retarded.
Responded to me. I'm going into this completely blind. My moderators care more about this than I do. Now, context, here's what's hilarious. So the other day, I go live and I react to a video and talk about Pirate Software. And in that video, if you look in the top left, one of my moderators comes in here and says that Pirate Software, Thor, pays his moderators full-time salaries, often exceeding $60,000 plus annually.
Oh.
Now, context, Pirate Software claimed that he had...
What is with these large creators and getting a little bit too big for their britches, thinking they can help out the people that are helping them out way too much? And it just ends up leading to everything crumbling. Like, don't do that. Be smart about it, dude.
12 moderators, of which he is paying full-time salary. Now, to my knowledge, guys, I mean, $60,000 is a lot of fucking money. Now, I've never seen Pirate Software say that he's paid them $60,000. Often other people have. However, I don't want to go off that. So they did a little bit more digging, and apparently, and we're just going to go ahead and read this, while Thor has explicitly stated that he refuses to pay lower rates for international staff based on the territory lines, the exact dollar amount of the Seattle pay rate, which is where Pirate Software lives, he uses for his staff is not publicly disclosed in a single fixed figure. However, general data for the region provides context for what these rates likely entail. Twitch moderator average.
I don't think you should be using Grok to figure this out.
In early April 2026, the average...
He says, don't be a bitch, you use Grok to fact check, right? It's even in the Rumble chat.
Average annual pay for a Twitch moderator in the United States was estimated at approximately $64,331 $64,331 a year, $30.93 an hour. Software industry standards. As Thor's company operates in game development, Pirate Software, it is often noted that he aims for competitive industry standards. For comparison, entry-level software roles in Seattle during his period averaged roughly $119,337 per year. Pay parity. Thor claimed this company had narrowed the pay gap between roles to just $180 a year, emphasizing role-based rather than location-based salaries. So this means...
Hey, the fuck? Here we go. What the fuck happened to my filter? I had my filter on. It just went away for some reason. All right, let's get back.
Even if Pirate Software, and once again, I have not seen what he was responding with. I honestly have no idea what's going on here. I thought it was a very easy debunk. I feel like there's no fucking way that,
I know what happened. I needed to make it loop.
Pirate Software probably makes $90,000 to $110,000 a year based off of his analytics. So I thought, obviously, there's no way that people believe a bold-faced lie like, oh, I'm going to pay, I pay all my employees a salary with benefits from Seattle, which is like where he is, right? I believe there's some deceptive
He's in Seattle? I didn't know that. That makes a lot of sense, actually.
language at like, best case scenario, deceptive language. Worst case scenario, flat out fucking lying. Because Pirate Software, and he made these claims back in 2022, and he stays true to them until today, which is 4 years. There's no way that he's paying his employees $720,000 in total every year for 4 years. There's just no way that happens, right? Because the claim that I say is exactly this. Bullshit. There is no way he does that. 200 subs or $5,000
or
to a charity of his choice if he disproves the
What are you, a walrus?
fact that he is. Show me that you're paying 12 moderators $60,000 a year with benefits over, you know what? I'll be gracious, over the last 6 months. You show me that, 10,000.
You know, what the fuck is up with his chat? Oh, he's got his chat overlaid to his chat. Okay.
$1,000 to a charity of your choice. Ooh. $10,000 is it's kind of a lot. Ugh. That is kind of a lot. 200 subs. Let's leave it at 5,000. Let's leave it at 5,000. But yeah, so I do say this. I absolutely do say this. And you know, I believe it should be over 4 years, but based on what I said, I will actually do that. If Pirate Software shows me that he's been paying his employees an annual rate of $60,000 over at least the past 6 months, right? So that means there should be at least $30,000 going to each moderator, 12 of them, over the past, 6 months. So in total, what is that, $360,000? I would love to give Thor 200 subs. I would love to give a charity $10,000. His choice, by the way. His choice. I would absolutely love to do that because I feel like it's such an outrageous thing to even be put out there in the air that obviously it should be a quick debunk.
Prediction. I think Pirate Software is going to show proof, but there's going to be no way to actually prove that the proof is real. So it's really just evidence, and I don't think that's going to count for Tectone. It would count enough for me. I would go ahead and do it. I'd be like, hey, buddy, you're bullshitting me here. I'm going to go ahead and donate, but what the fuck?
And move on. Initial salary promise, 2024. In April 2024.
Oh, man, I wish he wouldn't use fucking Grok to fact check. I was trying to use Grok the other day to help me, find an app that would let me cut audio automatically without having me going through to manually cut it. Dude, it could not fucking do it. It could not. It just kept lying to me. It kept telling me apps were free, sign up, and then I'd get to it, and it would not be free, and I'd have to sign up, and it would have watermarks. Fuck that, man. Happened multiple times over the course of hours. Don't use AI to fact check. You gotta find actual sources. And you gotta make sure that their sources aren't AI. Information is real slippery nowadays. I think it was better a decade ago when you just could Google anything.
Pirate Software announced they were hiring their moderation teams and editors full-time with benefits, specifically mentioning in some reports that they were working towards high, equitable pay, sometimes discussed in context with figures like $60,000, right? So in context, if Pirate Software is saying he's paying them a salary, it doesn't matter where they're from, it just matters their role. He's in Seattle. That means a role like that should be expecting somewhere of $61,000. Payment structures by September 2024, the team consisted of 12 moderators, 2 editors, and 2 ferret rescue caretakers, all on full-time pay with benefits or contract equivalent pay. International pay equality. Pirate Software stated that they did not decrease pay for international staff, aiming to pay the same rate within a role regardless of location. 2026 developments as of April 2026 reports indicate significant conflict with the claims that the moderation team quit or was removed following disputes, including accusations of harsh treatment and unpaid work. According to the lounge and other sources, the situation regarding the company's structure changed dramatically in April 2026. Right? So those are all of as much factual information that I can possibly put out. So there's a clip that is...
It's from an AI also.
Severely out of context.
One of my least favorite, by the way, that I've been using.
The full context is in the video, and Pirate Software, a man who has been frequently taken out of context, which I have defended in the past, by the way, multiple times, you would think that he would go and watch the full video because it's out there. I don't know why he wouldn't. It's very easy to find. I don't want to blame Pirate Software too much. I understand he's a busy guy, but if he's going to do a public call out, the least he can do is watch a video, which is, Pirate Software leaked DMs. It's bad. It's legitimately right there. That is a complete lie. It's very easy to pull up. It's very easy to pull up. So Pirate Software responded, I have not read this yet. The moment my content blew up, I started paying my moderators and my other staff. The blow up started, and by the way, I want to make this very clear. I don't want to not like Pirate Software. I don't. I have no interest in hating this guy. I really don't care, right? When the whole OnlyFans drama came out.
I don't hate him or anything, but I do acknowledge that he's a fucking degenerate freak.
And tell me that I'm lying. I was his biggest offender.
I couldn't be friends with him. I mean, I'd probably be able to, hang out with him once.
Righting every single wrong that people were saying about
him. I mean, Jesus hung out with prostitutes,
I held him accountable, and then he ceased communication. It was a little weird. I'm not going to fucking lie. Right? The blow up started December 2023 and payments started in May of 2024. We used wire transfers originally and then ADP and now Gusto for US payroll. Wire transfers were still used for EU contractors throughout. All USA mods were on payroll and all EU mods on contract. I even gave them bonuses on Christmas. Where's my 200 subs and retraction of your false claim? Okay, now let's see. I haven't seen these yet. So let's see how much he's paying them. What? Bro, these are more redacted than the fucking Epstein files.
Yeah, this ain't nothing, bro.
What the fuck was this even supposed to prove? Like, what is this?
And also, like, you can just fake this shit, because this is just, like, basic information.
Say the past 6 months, and only one of your screenshots has the past 6 months. Brother, you can't say that you're paying them a full-time salary when you're based in Seattle, where... Listen, bro, I'll even be generous. Let's be so fucking generous. Minimum wage, Seattle. You're based in Seattle. The minimum wage for 2026 in Seattle is $21.30. This rate applies to all employers regardless of size, which means 2130, 40 hours a week times 52. That means you should be paying all of your employees minimum $44,304 a year.
Does that count if they're contracted outside of Seattle? I don't know. I knew that I know I used to work out of Memphis, and I got paid under minimum wage because I was contracted out to another state. I got paid the federal minimum wage, a little bit above federal.
With benefits, which is what you said. Now, I don't know why this guy thinks sending me the fucking Epstein files is enough to disprove my claim, but it's not. Pirate Software, I have no interest in beefing with you whatsoever. I was debunking a clearly false claim. There is no way you're paying your employees that much, and that's...
I think he's going to have to DM Tectone some real information. Just DM him. Don't publicly face it. So Tectone, he's not going to leak it.
Crazy. And goes, I'll tell you something that's crazy. I pay my editor way more than what you pay your employees. So much so, hey, guys, I'm going to keep it 100%. I've paid that motherfucker over $14,000 in 1 month. Okay? So this ain't jealousy. Crazy. This ain't me hating. But the difference is, I make way more money than Pirate Software. And that's why I'm saying I know how much you can even pay your... Better yet, how about I'll prove that. Yeah.
That's what happens. Like, okay, so Tectone, he can be a huge retard and be wrong about shit, which I think he's partially wrong in this situation, but he lets it be known that he's retarded. Everybody knows it. Everybody knows that he's garbage, but he owns it. And that's the secret. That's the trick. That's how you stay successful. That's how you don't become a lolcow. You don't lie and manipulate to garner an audience who thinks you're a person that you're not.
This is my main editor. So the way that it works is I would pay my editor 20% of what I make every month off YouTube. And we had a month that was really good. We had a month that was really good. But hey, that's how much I paid this motherfucker in a month. So I'm not saying this out of jealousy, because I be paying the people who support my channels like fucking crazy. All right? But I know, Pirate Software, that you for a fact do not do that. I know for a fact that you do not do that for your moderators. Now, employ me next. Hey, guys, I'm going to be real. I was paying way too much. I do not pay him like that anymore, okay? I want to make that very clear, because that was fucking me hard. Okay, but when it's online, legit, like every...
Yeah, I mean, look at his house, look at all of his stuff, his cars and his clothes, and all of his equipment. Yeah, I could see how paying somebody extra would fuck you hard. You won't be able to pay for all that fancy stuff. If I had that much money, I would have a bunch of fancy stuff. I would have everything that I need, and it would be in perfect condition, and all the extra stuff, I would not. Like, I don't need no fancy furniture, no fancy house, no fancy cars. I've already got a farm, so
every minute of the day, uploading 5 to 6 videos, making the thumbnails, tagging them, doing all that work. He works very hard, and I appreciate that. But it's a fucking lot.
Yeah, I wish I can get somebody to help me out with shit. Like, I'd give him a channel. You can just run it. I've got one that's almost monetized. As soon as I get it monetized, I think I'm going to let somebody run it.
Right? It's a fucking lot. But you can't come in here and say, yeah, there's payments that are submitted. Look, I've made the payments. Yeah, the problem is, it's how much you're saying. And there is no way that you are paying anywhere near that amount. You don't have that money. Now, once again, if you are to show and you have to show all 12 employees that they're getting paid, I would prefer the past 4 years, but you can do the past 6 months and you can show me that these are real because you've lied about other things. I would love to give you 200 subs. I would love to retract the false claims. I don't want to go after people over lies. I have no interest in doing that. For real. I have Pirate Software. I have no interest in farming you.
Pirate Software not trusting Tectone to not leak this stuff and not just going through with giving him the actual real information when he already engaged with Tectone and all of this makes me think that Pirate Software is full of shit. Because, like, why won't you just show him? Because you know he's not going to leak the shit. Fucking pathetic.
I have no interest in going after you over shit that's a lie.
Shouldn't have engaged. Should have just ignored Tectone. Like, are you fucking retarded?
Because there's already enough real bad people. But the problem is that when it exists that, Pirate Software only has this many viewers and his moderators are getting paid $60,000 full-time salary with benefits from Seattle, a place where the minimum wage is like $23, that's just literally impossible. And the problem is, you're making people's moderators feel undervalued, underappreciated. And I'm sorry, you can't just say, see, look, there's payments right here. Just look. Okay, well, how much is that? $100? $200? $300?
Yeah, that's another thing. It doesn't actually even show how much he pays.
Because I guarantee you, this number, which should be somewhere in the ballpark of $4,000, ain't there. There's no way. Because Pirate, you don't make that much money. And I'm not saying that as a hate comment. I'm saying that that's just the factual truth.
The only way he'd be making that much money if he had deals with some people. He was partnered with some people who make him do things for a certain amount of money. I could see that. Or maybe he's got some money stacked up from things like that happening in the past. I don't know.
All right. And I like keeping things in reality.
I mean, he is a Twitch ambassador after all.
Now let's keep going here. And let's see what Pirate said.
Tectone is not giving you 200 subs. They changed it now to 10K to charity of your choice after realizing you could actually prove it.
Why would I be afraid of giving him $1,000? That means why is it bad that I would pay 10 times more to charity? And also, that didn't change at all. It was from the same video. It was the same video. If you watch the video, you would see that. But the reality is that it just needs to be cleared up that he's not paying his moderators $60,000 or $44,000 a year. There's no way he does that.
If they want to give 10K to charity, have them give that charity to Maya Higa. 100%. Sure. Give the $10,000 to Alveus Sanctuary.
Yeah, give it to my thing. And I'm going to do whatever I can to trick you into giving money to my thing.
Sure. Make it public.
Sure.
And I'm cool with that. If that's the outcome.
Yeah, that's another red flag to me. Makes me think that he's full of shit. Because he just wants money for his dumb little charity that he runs for ferrets.
Come of that.
Once again, I'm absolutely down, but I just feel like there's just no way you're paying your moderators $44,000.
I'm starting to think so too.
A year. There's absolutely no way.
Hands down, man.
Anything else?
What is going on with that? Tectone made a claim that I never paid any of the moderators. He put 200.
No.
That's not that what. Okay.
No. I did not say that. What I said was you may be paying your moderators, but you're not paying them $60,000 a year. That is what I said. I said you are not paying them $60,000. I literally showed the clip. I don't know what it is you're watching, but that claim was not made.
I was seeing a bunch of people calling out Tectone for this, saying that, Pirate Software did pay his mods. It's not what Tectone said. So everybody else is misrepresenting Tectone. Okay. I watched the video. I know what he said.
200 subs on the line. And apparently the claim now is that he would give $10,000 to charity if there was proof. I posted proof on Twitter immediately and showed all of our receipts from the last since 2024.
Posted shitty evidence.
And if the claim is that he will be paying $10,000 to charity, I want him to give it to Maya Higa and Alveus Sanctuary.
No, that's not the claim. The claim was very clearly, and I will play it again, because now you're drastically misrepresenting what it is that I said. And I'm not going to lie, that looks really fucking sus that you're going from, he said that I never paid my mods to, or he's saying $60,000 to my mods to, he said I wasn't paying any of my mods. And this is why you watch me, because I love dismantling the bullshit. There is no way he does that. 200 subs or $5,000 to a charity of his choice if he disproves the fact that he is. Show me that you're paying 12 moderators $60,000 a year with benefits over, you know what? I'll be gracious, over the last 6 months. Very clear. I mean, the video is right there. It's very clear. Obviously, no one is impressed if you're paying your moderators $50 every month. The thing that is egregious is the $60,000 claim and the full-time salary claim with benefits. Whether that's $44,000, whether that's $62,000, completely up to you. But you can't say that you're not paying them off region. You're based in Seattle. The minimum wage there is somewhere in the ballpark of $23. You're just not doing that because you don't have that much money. This is such a non-issue. Just clarify what it is you're actually paying them, because if you don't, it makes every other streamer's moderators feel like they're being taken advantage of, as well as you should explain what these moderators have to do, because it doesn't feel good, because I love my mods. They've been helping me for like 8 fucking years. And am I paying them $60,000? Fuck no. And the ones that are here know that they don't deserve $60,000 a year because there's not that much to do. So why the fuck are we putting into the fucking
I think he was having his moderators run his community also because he didn't really want to involve himself in it. Unless he wanted to go to his Discord and bitch about things or fight about things. That's all he ever went to his Discord for whenever I was in there.
Ethos into the fucking world that moderators get paid $60K or full-time salary with benefits. It's just a ridiculous fucking lie, and it is what it is. Jesus. It's really not that deep. It's really not. But once again, if Pirate Software shows that he's paying, very specific, 12 different moderators, full-time salary, which is $44,000 annually, and you show me the past 6 months, I'm going to write this out very clear. $44,304 annually, right? 12 different mods, 6 months prior to now. These are the 3. Thor, I got no issues with you at all. I got no desire to have issues with you at all. But the problem is that when you're messing with fucking mods and making them feel like they're being taken advantage of, that annoys the fuck out of me. So let's make it very clear. Let's just write it out. March, Feb, January. If all of these are met, 10K to Maya. It's really that easy. I will absolutely do that. 10K to Maya if all those are hit. Absolutely. 100%. 100%. If you actually do, I'm a man of my word. I don't lie. I honor myself and not lying. I would love to give $10,000 to charity, especially if I'm wrong. And if you do that, God bless your soul. Are you on food stamps? How are you affording to eat? I wrote it all out. You hit all those. You have the paper right there. You prove that's what you're doing. It's really that easy. Okay? No redaction.
I don't think it's going to happen. I think that dude's just going to keep bitching, and he's probably going to forever talk about this situation. He's not going to let it go, because that's what he does whenever he thinks he's right. It's just so fucking ridiculous, dude. Like, they never learn.
None of this Epstein file bullshit. But, or if you want, Pirate, you can DM me. I will not disclose that you DM'd me. Just say, hey, I want to move forward from this. Can you drop it? And I'll never mention it again. I thought this was a very easy, yeah, you're right, I don't do that. Sorry, I don't know how that information got put out there. But now we're doubling down on this shit. Pirate,
That's what he's the double triple downer.
I got no interest in doing a back and forth.
He likes to quadruple and quintuple down.
Straight up. There are way worse people on the internet than you. I don't care about
Yeah, like the quartering.
this shit.
Is Tectone even talking about the quartering right now? It seems like a situation that he would definitely be into. Maybe he's waiting. I don't know.
Like, let's be fucking dead ass here. Your files were more redacted than the Epstein's. So, anyways, hit those qualifications if you want 10K. If not, you can DM me privately. I won't.
Right on. And there's another response.
Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe here.
This is the latest update as of the making of this video. Hopefully this is the last time I'm talking about Pyre Software for a little while. Unless he does something incredibly stupid. The Kronos situation, that blew me away. That blew my mind. I'm so happy that happened. I wish that he would let me infiltrate and be a mod. I think he would actually like somebody like me being a mod. But I think probably people like him think that I'm a fascist Nazi. So I don't see that ever happening.
So, if you didn't watch my previous video, I'm responding to Pirate Software. I'm going to go over what I am believing, which is deceptive language. And I'm going to show you guys everything that I'm talking about here. And I'm going to show you guys what's happening in reality versus what I believe every normal human being would be on Earth and what I believe to be deceptive language to an audience. So let's talk about this. And I want you guys to be honest. I want you guys to tell me if you think that I'm wrong. And by the way,
I think you're like 10% wrong.
I will donate $10,000 to Maya's charity if the top comment actually believes that I'm in the wrong here. But I really don't. And I believe once you kind of understand my...
I think getting into this whole drama about the payment was an L, in my opinion. Don't think you should have been getting into it. But I'm very interested, because I like to watch streamers fight on the internet. I don't watch TV anymore. This is my entertainment.
Side, you'll be more on board with what exactly I'm talking about here. So Pirate Software put out a response where he showed that he paid his employees. And the image was right here. And as follows, he showed that on his stream, his employees were paid because Pirate Software misunderstood me. And he just said, yeah, I paid my employees.
I don't think that he misunderstood you. I think he misrepresented you. He's known to do that. Just look at the Stop Killing Games movement. By the way, thank you, Pirate Software, for single-handedly keeping my favorite movement alive.
That was your claim. No, that was not my claim. My claim was, show me that you're paying your moderators $60,000 for just moderating the chat. And so he sent me this, and this was all blacked out, and the screenshot before didn't have any of the prices as well. And I made the joke that these are more redacted than the Epstein files. So something started to seem a little bit off to me. So I made a follow-up post, which was this. And let me show you the clip of which I'm referring to in case you don't know what Pirate Software was claiming. So Pirate Software was streaming on Twitch. So Pirate says, and I quote,
I pay our moderators full-time. Not only do they have full-time pay, they're on salary, they also get full-time benefits too. Medical, dental, vision, everything. Like, that's how this place stays cool, is because they work very hard to do so. They kick a lot of ass. All of it. And that donation system at the top there, pally.gg, 100% of those donations go to them. None of it goes to me. None of it. We were going to do that temporarily one year for Modsgiving, was the idea. It was for Thanksgiving. And I just made it permanent because it was like, no, this makes more sense. So that's it. Yeah. Mods get benefits for therapy. So we don't have anyone who wants to do that. I need to see if that's covered under their medical benefits because I would like to do that. Because to be honest with you, being a moderator is hard as shit. It is insanely difficult. And they get to see the worst of the community. They get to see the most aggressive, shitty takes from people. They have to see the awful stuff.
Awful stuff. What does that even mean? You have to see bad words. It's a text platform. What the fuck are you talking about? Everything he's on is a text platform. Bro, I used to be in the forums back in the early 2000s. I'm gonna talk about the most vile, evil shit you've ever seen. Like I said before, grow the fuck up. I hate people who get all up in their fifis about words.
And so everybody saw this clip, and the normal layman would assume, why the fuck is he paying his Twitch mods $60,000 a year to just ban people in the chat? So I said, there's no fucking way that you're doing
Yeah, it makes no fucking sense.
that. And I will bet $10,000 that you're not doing that. And so I put out a tweet because every normal person would think, oh, why the fuck is he paying his Twitch mods $60,000 to just press ban whenever somebody says something bad or sends a bad link, right? And I feel like that's pretty insane to claim. So I put out this tweet, which is, would be very happy to donate $10,000 to Alveus if I'm wrong here.
They might not be his mods, too. They might be doing other jobs that isn't just moderation that he's paying them for, which I think would constitute him not paying mods. He's paying employees and they just also moderate. But I don't even really think that's happening. I think this whole situation stinks. I think it's all stupid.
But the phrases you're using, staff at my studio, which, by the way, I'm going to pull this up because he responded to exactly of what I was saying, which I'll pull it up. So his response to what I was saying about him paying his moderators was very interesting to me because he says, and I quote, yep, showed the payments live on stream. Staff at my studio are paid between $60,000 to $120,000 a year, depending on role. I let a number of people go on a layoff recently.
That sounds like that he's not paying moderators. It sounds like he's paying staff and they're just also moderating.
And many staff over the last year in a drawdown. After these 2 staff members resigned, I make less as a creator than I did a year ago and needed to do this to keep things going afloat. The staff are...
Yeah, the staff resigned, and that's what led to the money loss. That's how he frames it.
Not to be blamed and to be left alone. But the very important thing here is him saying staff at my studio. And that raised a red flag in my brain. So I'm like, who in the fuck calls their moderators staff at their studio? So I respond and I say, but phrases you're using, staff at my studio, is very confusing to me and I believe to be deceptive language. I'm asking specifically, like you claimed previously, that you were paying your moderators to strictly and only moderate your Twitch chat, which is a very fair thing because that is the exact thing that he said in that clip for the grand total of $60,000. I have said multiple times, and I haven't seen you say it flat out a single time since, that this payment is for moderating your Twitch chat only. If you can say that you, Pirate Software, are paying 12 people $60,000 a year to moderate your chat, and that is their sole responsibility, because that's where I found it to be preposterous, then we can full stop back and forth right now. So please just say that flat out, because to lie about that would be ridiculous. I would love to be a man of my word and donate if I'm wrong here, but I just don't.
Every time he's lied, it's been fucking ridiculous, and there was no need for it.
I don't believe there's a world where you're actually paying that amount to your Twitch mods, not staff, not developers, Twitch mods and Twitch mods only, like I've said multiple times. Let me know. To which he...
Yeah, I said Twitch mods, not the fucking janitor, who you gave mod privileges.
He said, and he responded to my post here, nowhere have I ever claimed that a moderator's only job was to handle my Twitch chat alone.
Okay. All right.
In that clip, he says the moderators have to see horrible things, and nothing else was talked about besides saying banning a couple guys in chat. Even looking at the clips you provided that is never stated, the AI summary provided in one of your videos claimed...
Yeah, that's so fucking dishonest. That's such bullshit. It's like, oh, I've got this whole staff at my studio that I'm paying, and this is what he's telling his audience. I have this whole staff at my studio that I'm paying. I'm also paying Twitch mods. Like that, those are separate. And I thought they were. I was a part of the community, like I said. I know how this guy is behind the scenes. And he's deceitful. He's deceptive. He's a fucking liar. And he likes to use certain wording that isn't like typical common language for phrases. Such as this situation right here. I never said my moderators didn't do other things that they're being paid for. Like, get fucked, dude. That's so dishonest. Oh, man, I fucking hate him. Like, not really, but like, holy shit.
The role as a Twitch moderator, I'm hoping you didn't form your argument on that basis. Well, it's kind of like this. If you're streaming on Twitch and you say my moderators are paid $60,000 for keeping the chat clean, anybody on planet Earth would assume, it's very reasonable to assume that you're paying somebody $60,000 to just moderate the fucking chat.
It's like, I'm gonna bring back the janitor thing. Like, somebody asks you how much you pay your janitor, and you're like, oh, I pay him $120,000 a year. But you, okay, So you pay him $120,000 a year, and the person's mind is absolutely fucking blown that a janitor can make that much money. But you also don't tell him that that guy is also your accountant. You see what I mean here? That's fucking bullshit.
Which is insane. It's the same thing if I were to be sexting an individual and I were to say, oh, babe, my cock is huge right now. You would assume that I'm talking about my penis being fully erect. You would not assume that I'm talking about my brother, whose name is Dick, who just got back from the gym and he's having a crazy ass pump. So obviously, any
That was a weird analogy. Mine worked better.
normal human being, and by the way, I guarantee you I could call 6 different people right now and say, if I told you I'm paying my moderators a full-time salary, what would you assume? And so, in my opinion, and I'm just being completely real, it's just incredibly deceptive language. No, you're not sitting there paying your moderators a full-time salary for banning a couple people from chat. That's just no.
Yeah, and it's one thing if it's like, oh, I accidentally made it sound deceptive. I should have worded that better. But he does it constantly with every situation. So it's just like, bro, you did this on purpose. You thought about this.
way, and that's why I had to call that shit out. Okay, because then you
trying to manipulate your audience into thinking you're a better person than you are, but actually you're not paying your mods more than they deserve. You're paying employees and you're having them moderate for free. That's what you're doing. You're just twisting it around.
say moderators have here cover Twitch, YouTube, and Kick simultaneously for 12 to 24 hours a day for Ferret Software Animal Rescue streams, and they also handle a Discord of over 100,000 people, including live tickets and immediate responses at all hours of the day, live events, game jams, and communication and moderation and judging for submissions. So yeah, obviously, if they're doing all of that, then sure, paying $60,000 is completely reasonable. But what you don't have is what everybody else on earth calls moderators. What you have are social media managers. And that is what you should be referring to them as. Because if you call them a social media manager, everybody's gonna know, okay, so they do a lot more than press the ban button. But when you say, my mods here get paid $60,000, obviously, everyone on earth is gonna think, oh, so the people in Twitch chat who have the little sword neck.
Yeah, you get it. You get it. Anyway, my analogy worked really good. It's like saying janitor makes $120,000, but you failed to mention that he's also your accountant. Same fucking thing. Until next time. I know there's gonna be a next time. This situation's so fucking stupid, man. Didn't have to happen. Buy them all. Link in the description. Folly down mugs.
Adios, turd nuggets.